Hey everyone, it's Danny. It's Saturday, sometime in April, mid-April. I just wanted to go get some crystals today. It's kind of funny. I bargained for a little bit more than I was getting into, but I got most of what I wanted. I was kind of looking for some Dambarite. They had one Libyan glass Tektite left. I didn't want to take it. There was a couple others. I needed a big chunk of black tourmaline, and let's see what else I was looking for. Some bigger selenite, but without tourmaline, it doesn't really matter. Okay, well, I'm just going to give you guys a look real quick, kind of point out what they are, and maybe if you guys want to know why I picked them out, I'll give another video out to as why too. I'm not going to get into prices. It was market value, street value, whatever you call it, retail. So things were a little bit more expensive than I liked. I've been to crystal shops before where I didn't buy anything. So if that means anything, the people were real nice. They seen that I was into crystals. They even gave me this this little flyer, just in case I was interested. I don't know. It looks more for kids, but we'll see. I went there to look for mainly Moldavite, this little guy here, and to see if they had any like bulk deals on any kind of rough material, any kind of gemstone really that you could polish up and kind of resell. I didn't look like they had much. I didn't really ask too much. I kind of let them know what I was getting into, looking to buy crystals for other people too. These are mainly for me. I like looking at them, whether it's placebo or not. Science will debate that. Some of these things, though, I have, for instance, just on this table, one of the, literally everything's in vibration. Things vibrate. Even a rock that doesn't seem to move, it vibrates. I probably have one of the most highest vibrational stones on the planet right here with some of the lowest, you know what I mean? Maybe being the hematite or something more earthbound. This Moldavite, it supposedly was a meteorite that glassified a bunch of sand in Moldova. It's around Czechoslovakia, I think modern day Czechoslovakia. But there's all sorts of skepticism and woo-joo and stuff behind this. I started collecting minerals as a little kid, fossils. I love fossils. That's mainly what I went in for, looking for deals on fossils. Some things that I kind of have been looking for, never seen in my life, which would be one of them. And a couple of the core element ones. I also did buy some herbs and spices, some tea, some soap. So it wasn't just, for crystals. I'm really interested in some of this tea. It smells really good. Like there's Pipsawea tea. Not sure what that is. Green sunrise, no idea. White sage to burn. That's the place I went to, Midway Metaphysical. Just some tea bags there. That's the oatmeal soap. Valerian root. I'm excited for that because I need some stress relief. No, I'm just joking. Comfrey. If I get a cut or something, I want to see if that works as a poultice. I'm gonna try drinking it too. And then the sassafras leaf I had to try to see if it's anything like sassafras root. If it is, I really like that stuff. Just for the moment, all my plants are doing real well. The two jades, a geranium that stayed over winter. It's the red one, so hopefully it comes out good. It's doing, I think if we're not shedding any leaves, except for a couple, all winter, it's doing okay. There's like a tricolored wandering Jew. I did not get the white cuttings. That one right there is kind of, you see the white in it? I lost all the straight white cuttings. That was sad. Like a typical wandering Jew, like just almost purple, spider plant. And I think the taller ones are Cradle of Moses. I think I could be wrong. I saved some arborvitae bushes. There's 3 of them in that, and the Uno, and the American flag one. There's some sedum ground covers there. I already have them spaced out in other planters too, but I'm gonna put something bigger in that pot depending on what I want to transplant. The Philodendrons doing real good. From Home Depot, I did like a $50 plant haul. Everything from Home Depot is doing real good. I got in real early when there was no bugs or anything on them, so Rosemary's doing quite well. I bought the rosemary and the lavender at the Home Depot. The aloe and the Thanksgiving Christmas cactus, whichever one it is, I've had for about 4 months now. I can almost split that one in half and start taking cuttings off that one. We got one philodendron ready for water, and I was concerned when I first bought these because you can see like slight variegation, but I couldn't tell if it was mineral deficiency or what was wrong with it. But it seems like it's mutation. It's how the plant's supposed to be. So even that one, I think that one up there has got more variegation to it than the one down below. The Venus flytraps, I think they're doing all right. Definitely lacking sun. They're getting plenty of food. They're growing. When I was cleaning some of them, some of the babies would split off. I tried replanting a couple. This one's starting to shoot a flower. Not too sure. I've never kept them before, and then actually when I did the research, after I bought them, well, there's a rosemary cutting and 2 juniper cuttings there too, and some kind of ground cover. When I did the research on the Venus flytraps, I know a little bit about plants. I didn't know much about carnivorous plants. They should be okay. I'm going to eventually transplant them out of here. It's just too much organic material and waste. I haven't found any pill bugs, the arthropods, to really clean up the mess yet. Or there's even smaller ones than that. They're kind of the garbage cleanup. Because I don't want to really be in there all the time cleaning it. It should be a closed system, but I think they're lacking from sunlight. I've been putting them outside as often as I can in direct sunlight. The big thing is big chunk of charcoal. That's where I water them. I water the tip of that charcoal so that they kind of have filtered water, I guess, because the Venus flytraps, they need distilled or I think distilled, yeah. But I think there's just too much organic stuff in here. They are growing and eating, so it's not like they're suffering. I did find out that the more red their leaves are, the part that actually eats the plants, if they're more red, they get more sunlight. They're getting enough sunlight. A couple of the last traps that died off were red. These ones were all green. We'll see what happens. They're going to get moved out of here within the 6 months, so it's not like it's a permanent place. This is really my first time doing a bigger terrarium like this. It's like 2 gallons or so. And mainly I use recycled potting soil, and I crunch up a bunch of charcoal and put it in there. Everything's doing okay. The smell's not bad. The smell's fine. It smells sweet and healthy, so that's the main concern. When it starts to smell bad, something's wrong. But it's working pretty well. I like it. I think it's a success. Oh, and I did, you see those little brown pieces right there in the center of the screen? I had what they call like a Godzilla fern that had a bunch of spores, and I sprinkled about half my bag of spores throughout all this. So the soil, that when I go to transplant it, hopefully some ferns will come up. We'll see. That'd be really cool to see some little fern fronds pop up. So with the crystals, I'm not going to go over why I bought them or anything into it. I knew what I was looking for when I went in there. I was surprised a lot by what they had. I was like, okay, I did not expect this, but it's really cool stuff. Some stuff I've never had before. Some stuff I had. I've bought thousands of dollars worth of crystals in my life, and minerals and fossils. Somebody shows great interest in them, I cannot but let it go, because they like it more than I do, and I like them a lot. Although I know that everything's temporary. All this stuff, they're more like like a sands of time thing. They're just living records that'll last more than our bones and our meat will. And there's all sorts of other reasons why I like this stuff. I'm not going to get into it, why I bought these, but we can get started and I'll show you just this little area here, and then that'll probably be it. I just wanted to really showcase this because I haven't done like an unboxing. I guess this would be called like an unboxing. I'm not going to say how much it was or anything. People that know this stuff kind of can get the value of it, and with the times and marketplace. I will say for one thing, I think I got overcharged on the Abalone shells, but the one is in way better condition, listed at the same price as the second one, so I don't blame them. You know what I mean? They probably seen it and seen how good it was, and you can get some really good jewelry out of it. It's not what I'm going to use it for, but I'm going to leave it as whole. Other than that, and the price of Moldavite, but that's for another topic. I was just glad to find some. Really, you're not going to find much Moldavite anywhere, and I think I got a really good piece. It looks similar to the quality of what I had before. I like the straight striations in it. I don't like so much just puffery. It's hard to tell. I'll set it down and then we can look at it again. But okay, so we'll start off with the Moldavite. Can't really tell much. It don't look like much, but it packs a punch. It was fabled to be the green gemstone on the Holy Grail. It's quite fascinating stuff when you look into tektites and how they're formed and what kind of energy is involved in that. It's by far, this is the reason why I went to the store, was this one stone alone. Came out with a couple more, I guess. This is probably a really favorite one, my Labradorite. They're calling it spectralite, but if you kind of, in the sheen of you can't really see it too well on but it shines. It's got some really good properties to it, and it's almost all the way through. You can see it, width-wise and on the front. See, right there, you can see that. This is amazing stuff. Labradorite, they call it spectralite. Here we just have some amethyst points. I grabbed out a couple of the best ones I could find. I like amethyst. One thing is that if you put them out in the sun, they will bleach. They'll lose their purple. So don't put them in direct sunlight, whatever you do. Or if you like that, but I like deeper purple in them, so that's kind of what I was focused on. And the double terminated, I couldn't find any, but there's double point there. Most of them have really good points to them. So we got some hematite here. Every other one has been hit with titanium. So you got like a regular one, and then this one, you see the different color to it, how it reflects a lot different. They're all the same material, but one, it's called, I forget the process, but literally they charge titanium particles attached to the surface. I'm not sure how it's done. I'm gonna have to do some research, but I know about it. Some Lapis Lazuli. It's a decent piece. I've seen better quality, but it's always good to have a piece of lapis. Really cool stuff. Cambada Jaspar. This is like, if it would focus, this is like 3 point something billion year olds fossilized cyanobacteria, right in the primordial stages of Earth when protozoa were changing to multicellular stuff. It's pretty fascinating stuff. I was told that this holds all the information of Earth when it was made, so it's really cool how to look at it, how it's kind of formed. It looks like continents. And I've had bigger pieces of Cambada Jaspar, or I forget how the ladies say it. I might be saying all these crystals and stones wrong, but it almost looks like a Milky Way and like a coast and inland and mountains. It's fascinating, but that's all just fossilized bacteria. This one I got it for the darker purpose too. I wanted a lighter one. That one's a bit darker. And then here I grabbed some Hematite Rings. I'm just gonna fashionscape, I guess, but I like them. They fit on both my index finger. These here, we have some Tibetan quartz. Almost super high vibrational. I grabbed a darker one for contrast and a cleaner one. I've had some pretty nice Tibetan quartzes, even double terminated, everything. These were still really good. I like them. They're high vibrational. It's quartz crystal. Just that's pretty much it. This one here, this piece of apophyllite. So when you put this piece of crystal through like some kind of light emitting detection, it'll give off some of the purest light. It's absolutely amazing. It's supposed to be for purification, clarity. I went to an Angels and Aliens convention, and this guy that was doing exorcisms had big pieces of apophyllite, very much bigger than this one, all surrounding the area that the exorcism was going on. And I like this one because you can't see it too well, but before I bought it, it seems like it's got like almost a splintering, like a tree root from the bottom up towards the top, and it's almost got like a straight point up to the double point. I don't know. I've always had like straight pointed apophyllite. This one might have been chipped and they recut it. I don't know. It might be natural. But this one's really, oh my God, that actually looks kind of like a skull with two eyes, the nose and the mouth. Super fascinating stuff. Or maybe a mask. Anyways. Some pyrite. You gotta have pyrite. It's fool's gold. It's actually really grounding stone, heavy, dense. We got some celestite. This is probably about the best piece I could find. I've had celestite in points. This is just some rough piece. It's told it had to do with dream consciousness and helping you dream. Some desert quartz. I think this, I don't know if it's found in the deserts of North America or the Middle East. I think there's different versions found in both, but that's a desert quartz. I think that mainly the browner parts are sand, and the white outcroppings are more of the crystalline structure of the quartz. Some tiger's eye. It's got some sheen like the Labradorite does. Let's see if we can get it to go. Yeah, you can see it kind of really cool stuff. This one's supposed to be for creativity, I guess. One of my favorite by far. It looks like Saturn. This little thing looks like Saturn if it had a ring around it, you know? Real neat, real color. And we got some bismuth. I like this one because its feet, it looks like a little robot. The bottom parts of it, its feet are blue, and the top part of it's gold. Looks like kind of like a transformer or something, I don't know. Definitely my favorite out of the pick. And then we got some titanium quartz. Again, I'm not sure how the process of this, but it's like a quartz cluster, whatever quartz it is. And then they ionize the air around it, and then they inject titanium particles into the air. And wherever the titanium lands, you'll see that, you know. It's not rubbed on, it's almost like sprayed on, I guess. But it's supposed to have its own properties there. You can see that one was $25. As soon as I seen it, I wanted it because I've never seen one in person. It's pretty neat stuff though, man. Like it shines. It looks radioactive kind of something. I don't know. We got 2 Selenite rods like I was talking about. I wish I found some black tourmaline. Selenite is gypsum. So it's water soluble. If you put this in water, it's gonna erode away, dissolve. Even rubbing your fingers on it, your sweat kind of will do that too. We got a Smoky Quartz point. Didn't have much selection of Smoky Quartz. This one's kind of cut, polished off. I like more raw crystals and minerals. This one's okay though. Definitely for what it is. I like it a lot. It's like an obelisk, a black obelisk. It's supposed to, again, this one, most of the stones I bought are more geared towards like a negativity-free zone, a purification zone that you can't really get in. So with the abalone, it's almost the same thing. The seashells, after a certain time, it starts to develop that color to it. And like I think it's like calcification or something happens there. And even this stuff's supposed to be rumored to be very calming and nice. I'm going to burn my sage in this. And when I burn some sage, I'm just going to set it down in one of these. Probably this one, because this one don't look as great. Like I was talking about the price of this. See the difference between this one and that one? So I think because I picked this one out, and they were both $7 a piece, which I thought was fair. But as soon as I thought this was a gem when I found it. I've never seen a piece as good as this. I've had abalone shells before, but this it's almost perfect to me. You can even on the other side, try not to break it. You can count the holes almost all the way. Yeah, you don't see that very often, and even the tips got a bit of the abalone, forming. So we'll see. I think that I would be happy to walk away with these for whatever price. Really, if I had the money. We got the Ammonite, fossilized Ammonite. Again, this one, $25. I've had this fits. This is almost as big as my hand, guys. Like literally. Well, more than half. I've had pieces that were more expensive than this for smaller. Um, it's not in the best condition, but you can still see that striations of the color. It's worn a little bit more than I've seen, but this is just amazing. You know, I've never seen one this big, and I've seen them across the way. I've never been able to hold them that were even the size of my hand. But really, when I seen these, I'm like, all right, my shopping trip's done. I found what I want. I really love these things. They are awesome. So then, that leads to these two. They were taped together, and I went to grab them, and one came with the other one, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's two of them here. They just cut it in half. Again, it's pretty good condition. You can see a lot. You can see a lot of the sheen on them, and to even have it cut in half, you can see what that one looks like cut in half. That's what I thought was really cool. So I could buy these two half pieces and be able to look at the insides of them too. Like that's where those little guys. That's where he lived, in that spot right there. It's amazing. I have to do my research, and it's probably just like reading the rings of a tree to see how old it is, to be able to learn what this Ammonite's life was like. This is it, Yeah, I couldn't let these go when I found them. I felt bad because I took these were the last Ammonites they had, I think, at least on for display. And I'm like, I had to go up and ask her if she was going to be mad at me for taking them. Again, 25, 23, 25. It's fascinating stuff to look up close. The camera really does not do it justice. That's, man, I could almost look at that all day. That's better than TV. Except for the quality of my phone. But up close, so cool. So I think that was pretty much it. And again, the Moldavite. So this piece, maybe 10 years ago, I bought maybe a little bit smaller piece for $50. This one was quite a bit more than $50, but I have heard that it's becoming rare and rare to get, just like every commodity resource is. To find one like this, though, I like it because it's got the striations in it. You can see it's almost like got lines in it, the way it is. I've seen a lot more cooler looking pieces, but I'm happy with this one, no matter for what price, because I probably spent maybe $500 on Moldavite. Maybe that's like 7 different stones or so, and I lose them. They jump out of my pocket for whatever reason. I just can't hold on to them. So if I lose this one, I might be a little sad. I might never have a chance to buy Moldavite again because it just is not out there. And the people that have it know how valuable it is, and they're keeping hold of it. They know this is something that, once it's gone, it's gone. Just like any species, anything, you can't find it anymore. And like the pieces I bought, I was part of the problem with how rare this stuff's becoming because all the pieces I lost. Well, one of them was given away. I made a crystal vial for my grandma, and it was like in the shape of an Italy boot, the piece of Moldavite. I gave it to her, and it's like a $200 vial with all the rare gems I put into it. It was for her to heal herself, and that even didn't stand the test of time. It's probably ground up somewhere and whatever, or somebody's using it. Who knows? But yeah, that was pretty much my crystal haul. I was hoping to get a little bit more of some bulk stuff, but I definitely got the stuff I like, and I tend to gravitate towards. Oh, and then these ones here. I think the lady was describing them almost done in the same process as like the titanium, or I don't know. Whatever gives it that rainbow color is on the surface. These are just some. They call it angel aura points. Nonetheless, they're quartz. They're quartz themselves. So if you're just gonna add a name or whatever, that's cool. Yeah, you can even see the pink on it. They're almost like they give off like a on the edges really cool rainbow colors, but they're really good stuff. I'm not gonna get into the meaning or why I even bought these outside of just their looks, but these are things that I'll carry in my pocket. All right, that's about it. Glad to upload more than once a year. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you later.